All right, Warbots fans, this is Bagofsoup coming at you with another test server weekend. This is test server 2.9, and it is Saturday, March 25th, 2017. And we are testing a bunch of things out this weekend, like the Dashbot Mark III, which we've already done. Also, the new Moon Map, which looks really great and looks pretty much finished, in my opinion. Also, the auto reloading pinatas, CRV pins, and Columbus as well. You don't have to wait for them to fully reload. You can just fire them at any time. That's been great. We did a video on that. And our last video this weekend is going to be testing out, once again, the Heavy Molot gun. The Heavy Molot we tested out last weekend, and they are testing them out again this weekend. We'll see if they changed it up any bit. It still shoots at one shot per 0.7 seconds, 50 bullet capacity, and after 3 seconds, it does have the accelerated state of fire that gives it 1.5 times the fire rate, just like the Punishers and Molots now do. And what's neat is now that you have the Heavy Molot, it gives you a lot more possibilities of some setups you can run. Like now you can actually run a Leo with the Light Molots and the Heavy on top. You can kind of match your weapons up, which you couldn't do before. This opens up a lot of possibilities, like the Lancelot. Before you could run the twin Molots, but you really couldn't run a matching gun on top. Well, the Heavy Molot makes that possible, and it's got the great frontal shield now, which is huge. And then, of course, you've got the Natasha, which you can now match your Heavy Molot with the Light Molots. And, of course, your Fury are some great options. One bot I haven't been a big fan of has been the Raijin before, but I think with the Heavy Molots, I would definitely give this bot a better chance. I tested it last weekend, and I thought it was great because you can stay back at 800 meters, and the only thing that can touch you at that range is maybe a Trebuchet or Nashorn or King Day or Geckos. Well, this frontal Raijin shield protects against those. So that's why this would be a great setup as well. So for the test server weekend here, we're going to retest the Heavy Molot again. The biggest issue, I think, is that if we get the Moon Map, we're going to have a lot of trouble finding some good spots to use it. You got to kind of find those long straightaways to use the heavy machine guns, and we may not be able to find it. This will be a good test to see not only how the Heavy Molot works in action, but how would you use it on a map like Dead City or Power Plant or the Moon Base when you don't get a lot of range to use it. We'll test it out and see how it goes. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Heavy Molot in the comment section below. What you think about it, if you think it's almost ready to use. Also, what setup is best with the Heavy Molot as well. I'm going to jump in with the Raijin just because, once again, I think this is a great map to use the shield on. Matter of fact, I'm going to head to the right and grab this beacon over here, right here, and then see if I can do some sniping up there. The one of the big issues, though, with the Raijin is if you are going to use the shield, you have to stop and be in place when you use it for it to activate. So that's going to be an issue, kind of like the Fujin, same thing. That will be an issue, and we'll just see how we do with that. As long as we stay out of range, we should be good, but if we're dealing with, long-range weapons like geckos and trebuchets, things like that, then we could be in trouble if somebody tries to shoot us before we get in place to set up camp, basically. But we'll test out the Raijin. Now, if you are in that kind of situation where you don't want to get stuck without your shield, the Lancelot may be a good choice because you can move, and as long as you're facing front, you've got a movable shield. With 2 medium Molots and a Heavy Molot. So that's just a good idea. Now let's see if this Dashbot tries to get in range of us. Of course, I don't think we're going to need our shield against this guy because he's using splash damage. So let's go ahead and deactivate here. He's almost dead anyway. He's running the Columbus, and I don't know if we can hit him from there. But he just got taken out. Let's go ahead and see who we can hit. We may need to leave our camping spot and find another that gets us better in range. So we'll kind of be movable. If you are going to be a sniper, it is helpful to be movable so that you can help support your team better and not just camp back the whole time. So we'll see if we can find a good spot that we can try to take these guys out from, and be a help to our team. And we'll test out these Heavy Molots and see how they do. Okay, so we do have a guy that's trying to take us out with a Zeus. So once again, that's when we activate our shield. But once again, we've got to get to a spot where he can't hit us with it. So that's always a tricky part there. All right, let's see if we can take this guy out. You got to lead your target, so we did that. Here's a, looks like a Fury here with Thunders. So this will be a good test of our Molots. And we'll move, just make sure we're using our reload time to move to the right spot here, so we can get maximum shots on him. Now he could technically hit us with Thunders, but they wouldn't do a lot of damage from there, so we'll raise our shield anyway. So yeah, we got a good another good kill there. Let's go ahead and work on this guy. I don't know, looks like he's running Tridents, so this is the reason for Heavy Molots, is to have another weapon that can challenge the Fury Tridents. Oh, shield up. Alright, here comes another Fury. And this is, once again, the only things that can hit you past 600 meters really are plasma and firearms, so the Raijin is actually a pretty great choice, because they can't do a lot of damage to you. Now we're about to get hit by another guy here, Terran guy, but we can also block against that. So a lot of reasons this is a pretty cool setup. Let's see how we do against a Plasma Griffin here with our Raijin shield. I think he's waiting to I don't know if he got disconnected or what there for a second, but that gave us a lot of opportunity to take him out. Yeah, here he comes. Yeah, we've done really great here with the Raijin. He kind of fell over. That was weird. Okay, so let's watch out. I know that guy fires every 5 seconds, so we'll go ahead and raise our shield up. He's going to try to just hit us around the corner. But yeah, we've seen where this Raijin, now we've lost half our shield, so we'll have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and deactivate and try to use cover to give us time to reload, and then when we're ready, we're going to ambush this guy and take the last little bit of him out here. Alright, because we got half our shield, but that shield really did a lot of good for us. So I think we've given this this Raijin a great run through here with the Heavy Molots. I've really been impressed. This is one of the few bots I don't own, as a matter of fact, because I've never really found a good setup that I would actually run with it. Well, now I think I've got one. I would run the Raijin, but only at a good range. Let's use half of our shield at least to block some shots here. And let's see who we can finish off. We got a Rhino facing the wrong direction there. We got another Raijin down here we can try to hit. I mean, we're about to die anyway, so might as well see who we can take out here. Alright, so like I said, we're about to die, but let's get down here and maybe grab a beacon before we're done. We want to be a help to our team, always. Like I said, I don't care that we're getting hit because our bot is pretty much done for anyway. We only have half a shield, and it doesn't protect against rockets and things like that. Well, that was a great test. I'm going to jump into the other shielded bot here, the Lancelot. I'm a big fan that if you're going to use a firearm setup, it's nice to have a shield that helps you to stand out in the open so that you can fire longer. And I think the Raijin has that great physical shield, and I think the Lancelot also does. Whereas the Leo is kind of vulnerable. The Lancelot's very similar, but it has a great shield for that. Of course, it does cost 5,000 gold, so that's an issue. Alright, so we've got this Griffin here we can work on. As long as we stay out of rocket range. Now, here's a guy that was hitting us earlier that we have to be aware of with those Hydras. Let's see if we can take a little of him out. Now, I thought we were getting hit by somebody else, so let's just check our surroundings real quick. Okay, and let's see if we can keep working on this dash bot with the Hydras over here. Once again, I think this is a neat setup because as long as you're facing forward, you can do pretty well to block a lot of straightforward shots. Okay, let's use our dash ability here to get to a better spot here to take on these Leos. And that's my issue with the Leo, is it's just very vulnerable. And we'll work on him. And we'll also be getting that beacon for us also. All right, so I think that the Raijin with 2 Heavy Molots and the Lancelot with the Heavy Molot and the 2 mediums has been great. So we'll keep firing. We've got a shield to protect against the Terrans if we get fired upon. And we'll just work on taking that guy's shield out, and then we'll work on that guy over there. And let's back off. You know, of course, splash damage will be our weakness. So you got to keep range and just be situationally aware. Now, we've done the Fury last weekend, and he was great, of course, with 3 Heavy Molots. But we didn't try the Natasha. And what I like about the Natasha is it's a it's a free alternative. It's a real cheap alternative to the Fury. So, if you can't run a Lancelot with Molots, you can run a Leo. Can't run a Fury with Molots, you can run a Natasha. Same speed, about the same firepower. So we don't have the shield though to block Zeus's like the Lance does, but neither does the Fury anyway. So yeah, this is not a bad setup. We just got to reload here. Now I could see someone that was running a Fury Trident, not like the Natasha version because the CRV pins wouldn't shoot as far as the Trident. And I get that. You'd lose a little range out of the deal. But with the Molots, as you can see, they all have the same range. So there's no real trade-off, in my opinion, to running this setup here from the Fury. You get the same range on all your guns. Man, have y'all noticed it was down to 3 versus 3 in this map? I think we lost everybody else. We don't want to get too close to these guys. We do want to keep range, but we also want to get beacons. So we'll try and do the best we can to finish these guys off here. Because he does have a frontal shield. And we don't want to get too close with our Molot weapons. Yeah, that was not the best option, but we want to get beacons, and it's almost over anyway. All right, so it's 3 versus 1, and that guy's got like 1 bullet left. He's gone. We'll go ahead and use, just in case they come back in, let's go ahead and use this barrier here to get protection. Let's cap 1 more beacon, just in case. And I don't think they're coming back in there. So the Natasha was good. We just want to make sure to, once again, stay back out of 600 range, for sure. Wow, that's pretty good. We did over 1 million damage just with Molots. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. We did pretty good. Let's see what our opponent was running. We had 2 guys on the other team that did most of the work for their team that did 1 million damage. They were running kind of a mishmash of things. Good stuff. And let's see what the guy below. He almost did 1 million damage. Let's see what he was running. I'm just kind of curious. He was testing out the new Tulumbas and CRVs reloading. Testing out the Heavy Molots on the Carnage, the Death Button reloading. He was testing out a lot of the new stuff this weekend that has got the auto reload. He did great as well. But honestly, I'm amazed. I did 1 million, almost 1.1 million damage just with an all Molot setup. It was helpful to be on Canyon, of course. But let me know what you think there. We tried out the Raijin. I thought the Raijin is excellent for range because he's got that physical shield. Only drawback is you've got to stay in place once you activate it. So that's one issue. We also tried the Lancelot. I thought the Lancelot was really great because he can move and use his frontal shield, unlike the Raijin. Raijin has a much higher hit points, as you can tell here, 250,000 compared to the Lancelot's 170. And the Raijin's got a much stronger shield than the Lancelot does. But the Lancelot has the boost speed if you got to get back out of range real quick. And you can move that frontal shield anytime you want to block while you're on the move. So I think that's real helpful. Now, we didn't try the Leo in this situation, but we know that it would be pretty much like a Lancelot. It's just a cheaper alternative. And its issue is it doesn't have a frontal shield. So keep that in mind. You're going to be victim to geckos and trebuchets and plasma and firearms and all sorts of things. Something that a Lancelot could block. We did try the Natasha. That was great as long as we stay out of range. What I like about the Natasha is it doesn't have a lot of bad trade-offs if you want to use it as a cheaper alternative to the Fury. We know the Fury's great with the 3 Molots. We tried that last weekend. So that's obvious, but it's 5,000 gold. Whereas you can go ahead and get a Natasha for cheap. You've got about the same level of firepower. And if you look at the stats, 158,000 hit points and speed, it's got identical stats to the Fury. So I would say run a Natasha in this kind of situation. So that's it from the test server. We got to test out the Heavy Molots, and I think it's a very viable weapon. I think it's pretty balanced. I think it's ready to go. We didn't have the sound on, but I noticed watching some other videos that they improved the sound effects on the Heavy Molot this weekend. It's got a much heavier caliber sound, which is great. And hopefully the shots are registering real good on your when you're getting hit, so you know. I think last weekend it was hard to tell you were getting hit by it. Also, guys, notice this last spot over here. You can unlock a new slot to use more robots in each fight. So I think they're gonna eventually unleash a sixth hangar slot for people. It'll be interesting to see how much that costs. The fifth slot was 5,000 gold, so who knows how much the sixth one will be. That's it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Heavy Molot. What you think? We did 1.1 million damage, so obviously it works. And now we can use a lot of setups we couldn't use before, like on the Leo and the Lance and the Natasha that match up. And the Raijin has a very good setup now. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Click like if you like the video. Share it if you can to get it out there. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe to our channel. We've got a bunch more videos coming this weekend from the test server with the moon map, the dashbot, and the auto reload on the splash weapons. That's it, and I hope you have a great War Robots weekend.